Hey guys, in this video I really wanted to talk about the benefits of journaling. I have been journaling for years now and it's been on and off, but I definitely have reaped many benefits. In this video I'll talk about how often you should journal and again, the benefits of journaling that has impacted me in numerous ways. I actually went through my wardrobe recently and I found these two diaries that I wrote my notes, thoughts, adventures, worries, everything on while I embarked on a journey to Europe in 2017 by myself for 3 months. Now, I remember watching a YouTube video because I was really fearful of solo traveling. I saw this guy solo traveling for months and months somewhere in America or something like that. And he had a collection of diaries that he kept alongside him. His advice was to make sure to journal, especially when you're solo traveling. Because here's the thing, when we're solo traveling, we don't really have anyone that you can confide in, that you can talk about your thoughts and your daily adventures. Yes, you can do it with the people that you actually meet while you're solo traveling, but you don't know these guys. You don't have that relationship built in place to actually have deep and meaningful conversations. But his whole theory of the guy who I watched the video was that you know yourself better than anyone. And when you're solo traveling, you have yourself. You have to rely on yourself. You have to get to certain places at a certain time. You can't be too immature when doing certain things. You have to be self-reliant. You have to be responsible. You have to discipline yourself to be punctual if you're, catching trains from one country to other country. And I had to do these things for all of my 15 countries I visited in Europe. And it was so good. It gave me a visual representation on how to incrementally improve my trip. There were so many things that I learned about myself through this whole journaling process, and it was just so great to see. So in this video, I'll be talking about 4 different things that journaling has done for me and why I think everyone should journal. Now, even if you haven't journaled ever and you make it into a habit, well, that's great. If you haven't ever journaled and you tried journaling and you don't like it, well, at least you tried something new. I really think journaling is one of the best ways to enhance self-reflection. And let me tell you about what I mean about that. When I visually see about my day or what I've done wrong and what I could have done better in that week, or my irrational thoughts that came upon me, I can visually see how my mind is working. I can visually see how my thoughts are working. I've said this before, and there's nothing worse than suppressing your thoughts, because when I visually see my deepest and darkest and most realist thoughts on a piece of paper, I can start mapping out methodically on where I need to work on in my behavior. If it's something, let's say, fear of public speaking. Is there a fear of judgment? Is there a fear of looking stupid in front of other people? Is that fear something that I'm willingly not confronting? And if I confront it, it will only make me more lethal when it comes to public speaking, and it will only improve my skill even more. And I think self-reflection is key to any kind of success in life. It makes you realize about your insecurities, your fears, places you can work on, places you think you're really good at, and how you can exploit those skills to create something new. I definitely, every time I am journaling, I am embarking on a point of self-reflection. I'm constantly surprised about how many times, every time I finish journaling, I just feel light. I feel good. I feel great. I feel like there's a burden off my shoulders. I feel like I have just let go of these emotions, because emotions need to go somewhere, right? We as human beings need to project our emotions onto things, whether we actually do it in frustration, onto people, which is not always good, whether we do it with our work, which is, I think, a great medium, whether we release it at the gym or through exercise. Emotions need a place to go. And if you keep storing these emotions, they can become very disastrous for us, especially. I think that journaling can drastically improve your mood. When you have a problem and you're stressed, keeping a journal can help you identify what's causing that stress or anxiety. Once you've identified your stresses, you can then work on a plan to resolve the problem and reduce your stress. Number 3, journaling can enforce gratitude. Now, I am one to say that I am very grateful. I am constantly thinking about gratitude. Every day, I think there are these signs in my house and these things that I've implemented in my life that make me want to realize that how grateful I am. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, and as human beings, we get carried away with trivial worries. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have worries, we all have problems, we all have fears, we all have insecurities, and that's what makes us human. I don't like the argument, oh, that's a first world problem, or like, that person has it worse than you. Just suck it up and, live your life. I don't believe in that. I believe that everyone has their problems, and it's okay to have a problem. Life is suffering, and as Buddha constantly reminds us this, it is imperative and it is important that we realize that we are going to come across problems every day. And having a kind of a medium where you can write a list of all the things that you're grateful for can really, really enforce gratitude. And I definitely think it's one of the best ways to enforce gratitude. Every time I used to think about a trivial worry, I would write down all the things, 10 things that I was grateful for that day, or even 5 things. And if I can talk about all the things that I'm grateful for in my life as a whole, I'd probably finish the whole journal. I'm grateful for the financial situation I'm in to allow me to pursue these kind of creative endeavors. I'm grateful for the friends that I have. I'm grateful for the house that I live in. I'm grateful for the laptop, the phone, the TV, the food, everything that I have. And I'm grateful to be healthy. I think people think that they're grateful, but I genuinely think a lot of people aren't. Now, I'm no perfect human being. There has been times where I have worried about trivial worries and I haven't been grateful. And like I said, that's just part of being a human being. But I definitely think having exercises put in place and having techniques put in place where you write down all the things that you're grateful for can really, really, really boost gratitude. The 4th reason why anyone should journal is that you're creating a memory archive. Now, when I look back onto my Europe trip and I read some of the entries that I wrote, it's crazy, man. It's so crazy. The way I used to think, the way my fears have changed over the years, the insecurities that I used to have that I don't have anymore, but they've probably morphed into something else, gives me a visual memory on how so many things have changed and how all these good memories were made and how some of the bad memories that in my trip that happened. Even when I look at the journal that I started this year, the journal book that I at least started 8 to 10 months ago, has drastically changed so much. The stories and the things that I wrote in the journal don't really matter to me anymore, but they're there and they serve as a memory. Doesn't matter if it's good, doesn't matter if it's bad, but it serves as a memory because I can always look back to it. Just like I can look back to the journals that I had from my trip to Europe around 4 years ago. And I just think it's a great way to reminisce. I think it's a great way to see how far you've come. It's a great way to also assess how different you've become in your thought processes, and I just think it's a beautiful thing. So the 4 reasons that I mentioned in this video for journaling: self-reflection, improving mood, gratitude, and creating a memory archive of your life are the reasons why I journal. How often do I journal? Look, everyone journals differently. So I believe in keeping realistic goals rather than saying, oh, I want to journal every single day, 365 days a year. I obviously know sitting here that that's not possible. So I'd like to journal 2 to 3 times a week. Minimum 2, maximum 3. There's no word limit. I don't say like up to 200 words, I'm gonna stop. I just pick up my pen and I'll write 20 words and I'll stop. Or I'll write 200 words and I'll stop. The aspect of self-reflection is crazy. I can see my deepest fears. I can see my darkest insecurities. I can see where I'm really good at and exploit that. It improves my mood clearly, and I just feel like I've expressed and released an emotion, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, envy, jealousy, whatever it is. I also think it's a great way to enforce gratitude. I have so much in my life. And 4th and final thing, you're creating a memory archive, and it's just showing you how far you've come and how many things you've gone through and the things that you've achieved. I think journaling is great. I think it's beneficial. Overall, it's great for your mental health. Try it now. Let me know what you think of this video. I'll really appreciate if you guys subscribe. I'll appreciate the support. I love the people that have supported this channel. You guys are awesome. You guys know who you are. And yeah, man, I'm just gonna keep making these videos. I feel like I'm in a position again to start making this. My dog recently passed away, so I just had to get through a few things, and of course I journaled as well about it. It did make me feel better. So I feel like I'm back and I'm ready to go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Appreciate the support, and until next time, keep journaling.